this works with the other look, I would say.
That's pretty as hair. It's very nice. Can we put these on the actual hair? Yeah. That's how these look hair.
Hey everybody, it is Uniquely Victoria back, and today I am back with an amazing, beautiful person, Kimaya McPherson, and she is a fashion designer. So we're gonna get into her passion and everything like that. So my first thing that I want to ask her is give us a little bit about yourself, your background, and then after that maybe about 5 things that you feel really embodies who you are.
Okay, so my background. So my name is Kimaya McPherson. I am a fashion designer here in South Florida, and I specialize in bridal and evening wear. Everything I do is made from scratch, from concept to execution. I absolutely love what I do.
All right, guys. Now on to Kimaya McPherson. Kimaya McPherson has a latent passion for creating.
Do you want to go side to side and have the gold dress?
No.
The gold dress is someone's specific.
Gold? I will bring it out.
And if there were 5 words, you said 5 words to describe me. I would say, definitely creative, passionate, very passionate. I want to say gift.
Say whatever you feel.
These are like the affirmations that we tell ourselves,
Yeah.
I would say things like, I am creative, I am talented, I am passionate, I love my family, I like learning new things as well. So
those are nice.
Yeah.
They're beautiful things.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, what was Kimaya like as a kid? Tell the audience what you were like as a little girl.
I was very energetic.
Okay.
So as a child, I was shy, but I was energetic. So I was like this little person, almost like I would be shy to have like one-on-one interactions, but like if you give me the opportunity to shine, then that's what I would do.
Interesting.
That's how I was as a child. So
okay.
I was always in like different plays as a kid, and I grew up in the island, so we had like those island plays. I was always dancing and drawing and creating as a little girl. So yes, but I was very, very, very shy.
And so were you more as like an entertainer in front of a big audience, but then when you're by yourself, you're very shy?
I was very shy.
Oh, does it take a while for people to like you to warm up to people as a little kid?
I don't think so. I think
No?
I think I've just always been shy.
Okay.
I always felt a little bit sometimes out of place.
Oh, how so?
I don't know why. That's something I've always wondered.
Like misfit or just kind of like different?
Misfit.
Misfit, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure why, but that's my experience as a child.
Okay. Does it still carry on to you as an adult now, the misfit, or do you feel like you're starting to come?
I think I'm starting to come into that now.
Okay.
As I am an adult, so yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's a lot of people's story.
It is.
So.
Yeah, no.
You just grow into yourself. You grow into being comfortable with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a journey there. And I think at this phase in my life, I think I'm getting to the place where I don't care if I'm a misfit anymore.
As you shouldn't.
So yeah.
Misfits do the most beautiful things.
Yeah.
So embrace it.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. Now, what is a must-have for you or your most favorite thing in this world?
Oh, my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 little kids, 2 little boys,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband, and they are everything to me in this world. So, yeah, that's my must-have.
Okay. Is that because you grew up like really close to your family, or is it something that you kind of also grew into, was loving your family?
I grew up with my grandmother and my aunts. I didn't grow up with my parents. My mother and father, we did the typical island family, which is you have your child in America and then they go home and they're raised by the grandparents and the family that's there, so that they're able to live the American life here. So I didn't grow up with my mother and father. I grew up with my grandmother and my aunt. So coming into my adulthood, I've always wanted that intimacy of a family. So being that I have been blessed with that, they mean everything to me.
You were speaking in regards to you grew up the typical Caribbean type of family. So with you having your family here and your husband here, how is that dynamic different for you? Like, do you love that a lot more, or do you also wish your boys grew up like how you grew up?
I love the family dynamics that we have now,
Okay.
of being in both of our children's lives, both of us being in our children's lives. And I love that because I love being able to see them every step of the way.
Yes.
I love being able to be a part of their lives and being able to be a part of the experiences. And then we can still, being that I have that island background, I have like a closeness with, nature and, the things that I've done as a child. I can still incorporate that into our lifestyle today. So they'll still have the experiences of, going to the beach. Like, I love that.
Yes.
I still want to give them those experiences where they're kind of familiar to me as growing up in the islands, but we do the best we can to give them a well-rounded life experience.
Yes. No, that's so important today.
Mm-hmm.
Have well-rounded, well-cultured.
Yes.
Yes. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
So what is something about you that most people aren't aware of or wouldn't guess about you?
I guess, like you're saying, I'm silly. Maybe a lot of times, I have this very serious approach to life and to the things that I do, but I love fun. Like, I love when I can be myself with someone.
Yes.
When I can be silly, when there's laughter and joy. I love that. I'm not always like serious all the time. Maybe the seriousness could be from nerves, or just me like wanting to make sure everything is perfect, or that part of me. But I can be fun. I can get down, Come on, I can get down.
I can see it. Like I said, I got a little side of it, so it's beautiful for me to see, because I love silly. I'm the same, so it's beautiful to see.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're all people, and there are different elements of us.
There are
different dynamics of us, and that's a part of me that I think most people
wouldn't get right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Now, like you were saying, you're a wife and a mother, and you're also a fashion designer, so you have your own business.
Yes.
What's it like for you to juggle or balance all three of those positions in your life?
That's a very challenging question. And I say that it's a challenge because it is a juggle. That's exactly what it is. And sometimes the ball falls. Sometimes one of the balls may fall. Sometimes all of them may fall. But the most important thing with juggling family, work, life balance is to be able to pick them up and carry them. And you don't have to carry them perfectly. I think one of the things that I learn, or I am learning on this journey of all of these things happening at once for me is, one, to be kind to myself.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, to be kind to myself in the sense of understanding priorities. What comes first, right? The first thing would always be my family. Okay? And then making sure that we're all on the same page as far as like my career. We're not playing with my career either, because that's important to me. You see?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So everybody has to be on the same page with the understanding of like, that's what mommy does. And even if mommy is not here with us, it doesn't mean that she doesn't love us. So the time that we do have together, we make sure that we are letting the children know. I'm letting my husband know. that we love each other.
That's great advice just to give for anybody who is viewing or going to
Yes.
watch, they may be dealing with the same thing that you are.
Yes.
And maybe love isn't the first thing that pops in their mind.
Mhm.
So,
You know what else I because I think about this topic a lot,
mhm.
and I think one of the things that I am seeing now in this part of my life is that, okay, there's growth happening, right?
Yes.
Growth happens with us as women, as women, as business women, and being the leaders of our household in the
Yes.
sense of our home, right?
Mhm.
There's so much growth that happens, and sometimes the growth is painful.
It is growing pains.
It's painful, right?
Yes.
You're a mom, your wife, you're juggling business. You got to figure out yourself.
Mhm.
It hurts. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because you're like, oh my goodness, my life is passing me by, and I'm stuck with the kids, right? Then you're like, oh my husband is he just won't stop, and then you're like, oh my gosh, my career. What about my life?
Right.
And there's something that goes black inside of you where it's like, oh my gosh, you go into panic mode because you're
Mhm.
like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I balancing well?
Right.
And it sometimes comes off as like frustration or anger or disappointment, but really that's part of the growing pains,
Right.
right? Because without that growth, if you notice like your mom
Mhm.
or like your grandmother or someone that is elder, they do everything.
Yeah.
They've done everything. They cook, they clean, they take care of you, they work, they do everything, right?
Right.
And they seem to like it's so easy for them. And that's because they went through I think that's because they went through the same phases that we as young women
Mhm.
juggling and balancing,
Mhm.
they went through it already. So they
Right.
have a better way of dealing with it. It just comes as ease to them. So I look at that,
Mhm.
that future of like an elder or someone older than me, and I see how they handle life, and I'm like, okay, they had to go through what I'm going through in order to get there.
Right.
So
And eventually, after so much time, it just gets easier and
I
easier.
think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's hard right now though. I don't think I've slept in 4 years. All night.
Oh my gosh.
Like all night. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. Like out of 4 years, I don't think I've slept through the night.
Mhm. Like fully through. You
I
get
think
up
I've
and
done that maybe 5 or 6 times in 4 years. Yeah.
now is that because your little boys like get up and cry and you gotta take care?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
the baby, and then also too, I am in the middle of the night. I work.
Ooh.
That's the sacrifice that I have to make.
Okay.
But I've always been a night owl anyway, so I guess it works out for me. So
So do you sleep in then? Do you like to sleep in since you're a night
when you
owl?
have children, there's no sleeping in. There's
true.
sleep when you can, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay?
So there's naps in between
There's nothing in between.
to make sure that you're set.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh man, I love that though because I really feel like that may resonate with somebody who's dealing with the same things you may possibly are, juggling it all and balancing it. What about my dream? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I think you can do it. You just got to keep trying. And remember, too, every little thing that you do, you're doing something, right?
Yes.
Every little thing that you do, you're doing something. And it makes the biggest difference.
Mm.
So don't count yourself out because you're not able to do everything.
Mm.
Just give yourself more time to do the things that you need to do.
Ooh.
So,
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. I don't have any other words except for yes, because that was perfect.
yeah.
That's perfect. Now, we'll dive deeper into this later now this is the juice, rise and shine.
Okay.
So when we get to the juice part of it, I'll dive deeper into your career and passion.
Okay.
But for right now, if you could choose any other passion or career, what would it be?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a pilot.
A pilot?
Yeah.
Fashion designer to pilot?
Yeah. I used to want to be a pilot.
How cool.
that was as a child though.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I grew up in the islands and I would come to America
Mm-hmm.
quite often. So I always thought that it was pretty cool that a pilot can get all these people from one part of the world to another part of the world safely in the space of like a few hours. So I thought that was really amazing. But if I were to choose today another career,
Mm-hmm.
besides being a fashion designer, I wouldn't choose another career, but I would definitely build on being a fashion designer.
So what do you mean by that?
Meaning that I think I would like to be a writer. I would like to be in commercials. I'd like to be in movies. You know, like these are
The
all
entertainer.
dreams. Yeah, these are all dreams that I've had as a child too. And I want to show up for those, you know, those parts of me,
Mm-hmm.
those creative parts of me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do those things. So yeah, I mean, fashion design is a part of me that I love and it's a career that I love,
Mm-hmm.
but I do hope that it leads to God's purpose for my life. So, yeah.
This may be a little too deep, but do you know what God's purpose is for your life?
Okay, I think that God's purpose for my life is being revealed every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the ultimate purpose for my life is to be here and be a light. And
You are a light.
oh,
Not to
thank
interrupt,
you.
but
Thank you.
you are.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
To be here and to be a light. I do want to be used in that manner,
Mm-hmm.
where I can be impactful to someone's life, and it doesn't have to be on a large scale. It could just be an intimacy, an intimate relationship, or a conversation or something like that, where I can be there to nourish your soul and be there to be a joy and a light in your life. So, yeah, that's God's purpose in my life. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It could be that simple.
And sometimes it is just that
Yeah.
simple. People sometimes think it's this huge thing, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times it's the smaller things.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, you've done that for me
Really?
just now before this interview. We won't reveal what we said, but you did.
Oh,
like you
wow.
spoke some things, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like
Wow.
so,
Wow.
I could see that being your purpose.
Okay.
Yes. Now, like you say, you're kind of an entertainer, but we'll say fashion designer. Since fashion is very big on social media, what are your thoughts or what are your positions on social media and what it can do?
Social media is an extremely powerful tool. I do think in the fashion industry, in the past, it was very difficult to break into the fashion industry. Just because there wasn't social media. You know, you had to be like the Christian Dior of the world, you know, in order to make it.
Yeah.
But now you see different brands popping up and thriving every day. And I think social media is a reason for that.
Okay.
Being able to put your work out there for the world to see, not just for your friends and family now, but for the whole world to see, right?
Right.
And if used properly, I think social media can take you very far in many industries. Because I see now too, like fashion is not just, it's used everywhere. I mean, fashion is a culture, right? But it's like, it's, as a designer, you don't have to just be a designer anymore. Like you're able to show your personality, and that opens opportunities and doors. So it's like social media leads to so many things. So utilizing it the right way can definitely take you places, I think.
So when you say utilizing it the right way, what do you mean? Because people could take that in a different
In whatever
ways.
way you want. I mean,
so what's it for you? Like, when you say utilize it the right way, what do you feel is the right way for your brand?
Okay, so as far as my brand being developed, I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot about social media and a lot about just the direction of the world today in general.
Yeah.
In regards to technology and things like that. I've been joking around saying technology is becoming my friend because I'm a millennial that I struggle with technology.
Yeah.
Right? Like I still draw on paper. And
yep.
I still get my pen and paper and my eraser and markers, and that's how I bring my ideas out. But now you can do that on a laptop or what is that, an
The
iPad or
software.
something.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
like being able to advance with the new technology is something that I'm learning to do as I am learning social media.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I think I don't have many followers online, but I do think that um, the followers that I do have, I do think the followers that I do have been um, a tremendous support for my brand and my business.
That's important.
Yeah, the people that are supporting you don't have to have a lot of people,
You don't.
but you need people that believe in you to help elevate your brand.
Yes.
And I think my social media has done that for me.
Your group that you have.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Because everyone feels like it's all about the followers you have, how many likes you get.
Yeah.
But I think the more important thing is you have people who actually believe in you.
Yeah.
That are following you.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And they show up too. They message me, and it's very encouraging, especially in days where you don't always feel like, as a creative, you shouldn't, days where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, So like sometimes those personal messages that come into your inbox, they really uplift you and help to shape you and help to push you moving forward. So
That's
yeah.
beautiful. I haven't had that experience, so I love
No?
that. No, so it's nice to hear, for people maybe that don't, maybe it'll come for them,
Yeah.
But
And it will come for you too.
Wow. I don't know
I'm
about
gonna
that.
be in your DMs today.
Thank you. At least have one person. Thank you. So with this being a uniquely Victoria presentation, what are 3 unique superpowers that you think you have?
Unique superpowers. Oh my goodness. Okay, unique superpower. Unique superpowers?
Yeah, I feel like something that you do that is so amazing that maybe other people around you don't have.
I think my creativity is one thing, and that is a superpower.
Okay.
And I've learned to not take that lightly because I've seen, I understand that it is a gift to be able
To create.
and it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a dress. It could be a space or
Interior, like your interior design
yeah,
or
I'm just
acting.
yeah. I find that is definitely a gift that I do have. Just creative. Like I can come up with storylines and like cinematic things in my head, and just yeah, it's just more to me than just fashion.
Okay.
So creativity will be a superpower, and I want to say like just my family. I just see them. I'm just seeing my children. But I think if I say my children and you're talking about superpower, I can't just say myself. Do you see? I can't say my ability to be a part of my children's life and balance family and balance husband. I can't say that's a superpower because I think that women do that all
Naturally.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
So
we as women have that as a superpower.
That is true.
And I think that wasn't excluded from me.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
And then another thing that is unique to Kimaya on Uniquely Victoria is I think we may have to get back to that one. You're making me think about some things.
I seem to do that. But we can get back to that one. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice that you live by, what would it be?
Keep trying.
Keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying. Even the moments where you feel like giving up, just keep trying. Even if it's slowly, just keep trying. Even if you give up and sometimes you give. I know I've experienced that where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But in my heart, you'll still see me I'm like, I don't want to give up on it because this is something that I've always wanted.
Yes.
So I end up going back and I keep trying. And
Okay.
that's like for my dreams, right? In
Mhm.
regards to my dreams.
Right.
Now, if you see something like knocking you upside the head all the time, then come on, like, you know,
Yeah. Like time to give
okay,
it up.
time to give it up. But when it comes to the things that are core,
Yeah.
that are you,
Mhm.
that you know you just can't walk away from,
Yeah.
just keep, even if it's small, just keep trying.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think people, especially society today, kind of needs to hear that.
Yeah, just keep little
People with
steps.
dreams and passion, big dreams and passions, they just need to keep trying.
Just keep trying.
Okay.
Baby steps.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I do have a surprise question for you.
Okay.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
A celebrity crush. Celebrity crush. Okay, I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
So it was 2015, so about 7 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I had the opportunity. I actually got a random call for an opportunity to work on tour with my celebrity crush,
What?
and that's Beyonce. Yes, I had the ability to work on her tour and work with the costuming department. So I was able to be around the scene. Now, there was one particular time I never met her.
Mm-hmm.
There was one particular time I was working late and they were doing rehearsals, and it was myself and the head designer.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the room, the costuming room,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just busy sewing, and she snuck in the room. I saw her I turned around and I saw her beautiful golden skin as she walked out of the room. But that probably happened for a reason, because I don't know how I would have handled that situation.
That's true. But you know, sometimes what people also say when they meet like their inspiration, it doesn't always turn out the way they expected, I guess.
I don't know if it was because of her or how I would have reacted. I might have gotten kicked out for something, you know.
You may have like went crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had the ability to work on tour with the costuming team, which was amazing.
I was about to say, how was it?
It was so amazing. It was the best job I've ever had.
So, did you go like on tour? And
I didn't go on tour. I went to a party. We were in Tampa, so I went
Okay.
to the Tampa
Mhm.
location, and I was there for not too long, a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But hey, any time is a great time when you're working with Beyonce. So
Yeah. So what happened to the job then? Did it just like?
it was a temporary thing.
Oh,
A temporary
okay.
position. Yeah.
Even then, that would be so
Amazing.
cool.
Mhm. It's so beautiful because the level of production is just so grand,
Mhm.
and I've never experienced anything like that. So to be able to be in that kind of event caliber was just a very dynamic experience for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can tell you were meant to be in fashion.
You think so?
I just feel like a lot of doors and opportunities open for you. But maybe I don't know it all, so we won't. Maybe we'll get to that. But just based off my experiences,
I think the clues have been there.
yeah.
You see that?
Yes.
I won't say it's like a lot of experiences and opportunities,
Mhm.
but the clues have definitely been there in my journey.
In your journey,
Mhm.
which we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
So, but not right now. Well, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
At that part. But okay.
Okay.
Now, before we take a break, I have one last question.
Okay.
Before we get to the actual juice part of this.
Oh, okay. This is not the juice?
No, this is just the beginning.
Okay.
This is just to get to know Kimaya.
Okay.
So, this series is on Unstoppable Woman,
Mhm.
and I feel like you are an unstoppable woman.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Thank you.
How do you personally face or overcome your challenges and obstacles?
I think that goes back to the first point that was made earlier, which was keep trying.
Yeah, your advice.
Yeah, my advice from earlier was just to keep trying and keep believing.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do things where you can see your value.
Okay.
Right? Where you can see you're worth something because you are.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get to the place of knowing that you're worth something,
Mhm.
you are able to overcome anything. That's what I think.
Okay.
So I think that's been the reason why I say that is because there was a point in my life where I didn't feel like I was worth anything, right?
Oh, I've been there. Yes.
Yes, and the challenges came, but there's still a core part of you
Mhm.
where like you don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe, but like there's a knowing in you that just kind of is in there where it's like, I don't want to deal. I shouldn't be dealing with this. Let me fight through this.
Mhm.
There is a better tomorrow.
Mhm.
Like you hear that voice within you that's like, and it's sometimes a very tiny voice.
Yes.
It's like, you can overcome. You can go a little bit harder. You can try a little bit more. It's okay. It's gonna be better. You hear that in your being, you know. So I think that's always been a guiding voice for me.
Mhm.
So I think that's how I've overcome, and I'm able to overcome a lot of situations.
Okay, I like that. But so I know you said you were in a place where you said you thought you weren't enough. So when that time, did you shift your mindset to kind of make it start going in a different direction? Is that how you really pursued on? I know you said the inner voice, but was it also like a mindset shift for you as well?
No,
No?
no.
Oh.
I think that I'm still going through that. And if I'm being honest with you, and I think that's part of the evolution process, right? Us as women, it's part of the evolution process. And maybe one day I'll get to a point where I'm like, no imposter syndrome. Yes, I deserve to be here. I've earned my way in here.
You own it.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
there'll be one day. And actually, there will be a day.
There will.
And the reason why I say there will be a day is because it has gotten better over time. So from going from feeling unworthy, it's like a moment, like you hear that voice and it shapes you up, right? You're like, okay, let me keep fighting forward. But then the thing about that, if you're like, the thing about that feeling of feeling unworthy is that situations are always talking to you, right? Your situations sometimes say, look at the way you're living, right? Look at this family member. Look at how they talk about you, I believe, right? And it's like you're constantly battling some of the realities that you are, or situations or circumstances that you are in, right? So you're always having to listen to that voice. And it comes, sometimes you hear it more as you're more consumed in the feeling of, oh, I'm unworthy. But when that voice starts proving to you, your belief in yourself starts to develop a little bit more, right? And then it gets a little bit more.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that those things don't exist. And it doesn't mean that you don't hear the negativity, right? But you start believing a little bit more every time.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back for the rest.
Sounds good.